G'day, Aussie Bonsai Bloke here, how you going? Well, today we're going to be working on this Jack maple. Just cutting it back, doing some hard cutbacks. I believe they say now, I don't really know because I don't work on maples much, but I believe they say you want to do your hard cutbacks just as the leaves are falling off. So we're going to do some hard cutbacks now, and hopefully all the branches that are here can stay and shoot out in spring. But first, I'm also going to do a repot. Normally you definitely don't do a repot now, you wait till the buds start to swell in spring, but this here is completely waterlogged, and it's just absolutely soaking in water. So I think I'll do a repot as well. I'll show you the pot and I'll show you what I mean as far as the water. So alright, let's have a look at the water. It literally just sits in there. Okay, just grab a light so you can see the water in there, and it's just laying in there and it's gross. And the tree didn't seem to care all summer. It's been like that all summer. I believe this one here I repotted, and I literally swept the shed floor and just put all the sweepings in the pot because I ran out of potting mix or bonsai mix, and I think I literally just chucked it in there with the floor sweepings. But as you can see, that's the growth in 1 year, so it's grown pretty well. It's got a bit more fatness to some of these branches now. And now the plan is I'll repot it today and we'll cut it back fairly hard. So that's the plan. And maybe find the front and repot it. So right now I'm going to repot it. So next time you see this tree, it'll be bare rooted. So well, good day guys. Oh, I did forget to mention it's a cold day today, so I'm in the shed working away. And I've got the whole day, I hope, to just work on trees. And I've got the pot belly going in the shed, and I'm hoping to do a few videos today so that we can then hopefully upload a few more regularly. Look at the roots on here. It didn't seem to affect it much. It definitely was floor sweepings because there's bits of plastic that were in the soil when I washed it out. Yeah, I've got some in my hand here. So bits of plastic and all sorts of crap come out with it. But as you can see, it didn't really affect it at all. It's got heaps of roots. It's got some nice white roots in there as well. But long term, you wouldn't want to leave it soaking like that, especially over winter. I don't think it would be a great idea. I should have a separate pair of scissors for the roots because it does blunten them. I'm going to have a look actually, see if I can find some. Well guys, couldn't find any. I did find my root rake. Oh, I've also got another root rake which was handcrafted by, what's his name? Dragonfly Wire on Facebook. He handcrafted these really cool wooden ones and made them from scratch out of bits of wood. Dragonfly Wire on Facebook. Check him out. That is super cool. Okay, so I'll probably start off with this little pronged one just to rake some roots out a bit. If you tear a few, it doesn't matter because there's so many roots. I just want to rake them out more radially, just so that when they grow in, they can hopefully grow in and fuse together and create a really nice spread of roots. Because that's, you know, one thing that maples have really going for them is a nice spread of roots. You tear a few, don't worry about it, there's plenty more there. I won't go too hard on it, it's probably nearly enough. And then down the bottom, you can rake some out as well. We'll tear a few, definitely tear a few. Okay. So that's it. So you can see already it's sort of combed out nicer now. I'll use this one now. At the beginning I was too scared to use this one because it did such a good job making it. I didn't want to wreck it, but I've learned to use it. He did say he'd make another one if I wreck this one, but I think he's made it that good, there's no chance of that. So it's just a mat of roots here, and I'm just trying to work them all out a bit. Some will tear, some won't, but all in all, it'll hopefully be a little bit less tangled and create a better root system in the long run. And after all that work, come along here and just chop along. Actually, it probably doesn't matter, these scissors seem very blunt anyway. Oh, you know why? The wife had them in the garden bed, because that's where I found them. So she's been chopping something bad. So I'm going to have to sharpen them before I cut the top. Yeah, that's where I found them, out the front. She's had them in the garden bed, so she's probably been chopping in the ground, something she shouldn't, because they are very blunt. Now there's still a little bit of soil in the middle there. I like to leave that. I don't like to fully bare root my trees. This root pruning would have been a lot faster if the scissors were sharp, but that's okay. As you can see, not a lot cut off really. And we now have a fairly flat root system. We'd probably cut it back a little bit harder on the bottom, so it sits a little bit flatter. Yeah, like I say, lucky they're blunt. Well, not lucky they're blunt, but it means that it doesn't really matter for the top. So I'm going to have to sharpen them, but anyway. So there we go. Made a good old mess here. Everything's all wet and waterlogged. And then we've got to find where we think there's a good front, which could be anywhere. There sort of looks good on the tree, but then the root system's not the greatest. I'd say the best looking root system might be there somewhere. Really like this bit here. This one here is a bit ugly, but there is some little ones here growing that'll hopefully fatten up and eventually fill in that area. If I chop that one right out, there is one growing from underneath. Let's do that. Let's chop it out. It's a bit ugly. Alright, let's chop that out. So I'll get the saw and we'll chop it out. Okay guys, so if we spin it around, I really love this section here. This side here could potentially be an awesome front in future because it's got good roots growing out the middle there, which I'm going to leave, and that'll create to the flat plate. And also another good one here, which is getting fatter, which I'm going to leave alone, which will also help create the plate look. So it's marginal whether I should use that as a front or just cross my fingers that this here is going to all fill in within the next couple of years, because there is some good roots in some good spots here which will help it fill in, and then this side will eventually actually become a better side than that because of this big fat elbow here. There's a lot of roots on the bottom of that one, but There's also this little one underneath here, but it means I'll have to keep some of this and cut it on an angle down, and then it'll have a new path. So let's cut it. I'll cut it on an angle down. Hope you guys can see that. So we'll cut it on a good angle down. Just watch out for my hands there. Okay, you can see that popped. So you can see here the new root system that will take over is this one here. Could probably go on a even bigger angle across here. And then that should all callus over and fill in eventually. And let's pull this one out the side. So you can see that one's lost those roots. I might even try, never tried this, plant that one and see whether something shoots from there. Let's try it. Cut a bit of a taper. I'm going to plant that and just see what happens. You never know. But you can see now we've got this one here tapering out from the trunk, and hopefully some new roots growing here. There's some in here already, so that's good. And potentially, who knows which is going to be a better side, but for now it's marginal. Not the greatest root system, but not bad. I reckon there for now is probably going to be our best looking root base. But the problem with that is we've got this branch coming straight at us, the biggest branch, so we can't really do that. Could maybe go a bit further around. So there's a possibility. And then we've got this bit here, these roots, nice big fat one there. We might try cut this one on an angle and see how that one's going as well. Just cut it on an angle. So let's see. Okay guys, let's cut that one down on an angle too. You can see a root here with some good roots on the end. I'm going to cut it back in line with that. Cut it back on an angle, and then when stuff grows back, like these at the back here, it should give you a better flow out to the roots, because that one's at a higher plane than some of the others. So let's cut that one back a bit, and it should callus up just fine. Now with these saws, these gomboys, they are super sharp, so you got to respect them pretty well, because you can seriously hurt yourself. They're like a knife. Every tooth is like a knife. They're super sharp. So let's get through this. Okay. Now you can see we've managed to just keep this little one here on the end, and a few along here, and they should take over. These ones should take over, and then that should really plate up around the bottom here, which is what everyone desires in a maple. And I think eventually this will, if we keep doing this sort of treatment, eventually this whole root system is gonna be quite nice, I think. Okay guys, got some metho here. Let's just give it the kid's old top here. Let's just give the tool a good wipe with metho. Give it a good wash. Probably helped if I clean my grubby hands too, but clean the table. Now, sharpening tools, it's quite simple. You can either use one like this, put a bit of spit on it, and then you can quite easily put the scissors like that, and then you come down on it like that. Okay, and you follow the same angle that it's been on before. These are relatively cheap, these diamond files, or diamond sharpeners. You can do it in a circle motion. Follow the same angle. Being scissors, you never sharpen on this side. If you want, you can clean it up, hold it flat with the scissors and maybe get rid of some burrs. Just hold it dead flat. Put a little rub. And then go back to just nice circles. Don't have to apply too much pressure, just work away. Work away on that angle. Give it a feel. And it's getting pretty good. And another thing I have is this. The same thing, I give it a spit. Then I use this because it's faster. I used to work at a meatworks, so I've got all this knife sharpening equipment. And now I also work on the vines, so I've got to sharpen up the snips. So you feel it, nice and sharp. Do it flat. You can also hold it in your hand if you want to, but that gives you a little bit more movement, and then what can happen is you can roll the edge. You'd be surprised as you're doing it like that. How much you can actually change the angle like that while you're doing it. So you're best off, especially if you're learning, hold it down flat. Just do straight movements. Without changing the angle of your stone. Keep your stone the same. Careful not to run into this edge here with your stone or your file. And that's it. I'll repeat on the next one and she should be sharp. Okay, another quick clean of metho when you finish sharpening. And that's it. Scissor sharpening, my method, done. And then you grab a branch and away you go. Sharp as. Even a leaf, straight across, beautiful sharp edge. You could even cut a tiny little slither. Done. Right, let's get to the tree. Okay guys, so we've done our sharpening of the tool. I've restoked the fire. We've got this one here, we've got to pot up and see what happens, see what shoots out. Who knows, never tried it. And we've got our sharp scissors. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go around just cutting things back shorter so they can fill out again. Now, probably the final size of this tree is going to be out here somewhere. So we've got a lot of chance to leave slightly longer branches than normal, because they're still going to be way inside the tree eventually, and the tree could be out here eventually. But in the meantime, you can't, I'll just show you, you can't, some people do, literally come along here and cut to the outside silhouette of the tree right now. And then that's it. And then, so you can see what I cut off. Okay. And then, though, because that's where they decide the final size of the tree is going to be. And don't feel bad if you have done this, it's fine. I probably originally did it a couple of times, but not for a long time. I should actually find the front as well for you guys before I start mucking around. I think it'll be there somewhere, to be honest. And you got nice roots here, branch here, good roots out there, and they'll fatten up and fill in. So there's probably it. But so they basically just come along, trim to the outside silhouette of the tree. This is no joke, people do this. Like I say, it's fine. If you have or you do, that's fine, just learn. Learn from your mistakes. I mean, I'd call it a mistake because was I that there, okay. Now when it shoots out, it'll shoot out from here, and within 1 year you'll be able to trim it again and again a couple of times in summer. And while it's got leaf on, it's going to look good. It's going to be a nice pom-pom on top of this nice stump here with some good movement, and it'll be a nice pom-pom on top. But then what happens when the leaves drop off like now is you're going to have these long straight sections with some shoots and then ramification on the end of all these long straight sections, and it's going to look ugly. So, okay, so I'll show you how I would do this instead of just trimming to the outside finished tree that you would trim to. Give you a bit of a look at how I would do it. So what I do is I find the first node in close, and deciduous trees take a long time to build. So these here, that branch could be 6 years old. That one there could be 5 years old. This one here could be 2 or 3. This one here could be 1. So they take a long time to build. You've got to cut them back every year and then let them grow out. Cut them back, let them grow out. And eventually you do get your ramification. So I would come in here to the first node that you can see, leave a bit of a stub for it to die back on, and cut. This one here, you got a small one in here, or one out here slightly longer. So I'll cut a stub off from that. This one here, you got 2 coming out. We'll cut the dead bit off here. Okay, so you got 1 coming out there, and then a really long section without any buds. If you were to cut it there, I hope you agree that looks silly. So we'll cut it back here with a short section for it to die back to. Same with this one. And I'll just quickly do this over the whole thing. Now here, there's a short one there. This one here doesn't have any. So what happens with this one is it's got a really long section to its first bud. For now, I'm happy to leave that. I will leave it. I could chop it back to there, but then you're going to end up with 5 odd branches back at the base here. and they'll be pretty well wasted for now. So for now, I'm going to cut it back to there, see how it goes. Cut them all back to a short internode. Okay, let's do it all around the whole thing. And then we'll stand back at the end and have a look, see what it looks like. Here we only want 2 branches, so work out which ones you like the most, the direction of them. Here I'd probably like to chop the middle one out and keep the 2 smallest ones, but if I did that, it's like a T in the road. It's too much of a T, so I'm going to cut the shorter little one off the side, so it has more of an acute, nicer angle. Chop that one back, that one back. Go around the tree doing this. Here we got a dead one. Not dead, it's only died back to there, but no shoots have come out there. So you could either hope for it to come out next year, or you can just give up on it and chop it back pretty tight and then see what happens. So we'll chop it back, give it a nice bit of taper to that end of that branch. Okay, and then we're going to transition to this one here, so get rid of that bit, and then that'll transition to that. Okay, chop it back short to the node. We'll give it a little bit of extra growth room. Do I need that one out the front? I don't think so. Gone. Very small one out the back here, which I'll keep and see how it goes. Get rid of some dead stubs now as well, some that have died back from summer pruning. Just clean the tree up a bit more. So get rid of all the dead stubs that you can see, because it does look pretty ugly if you leave all these dead stubs. Give it a nicer transition between branches. Okay, I think they're pretty good. Got rid of most of them. One here, another one here. We got 3 coming out here. Could probably go back to these 2. Get rid of that one. And that's about it. So we'll wait, see what happens in spring. Actually, I will cut this one back. I'll cut it right back to here, because what will happen is this shoot here will actually put out 2 branches. And when it does, that will become the new branch structure. As far as wiring, I'm not going to do any wiring at all. I'm just going to clip and grow. So that's it. So you can see the branch structure and the trunk, it's all looking pretty good. You could cut this one here off and run a new apex. Actually, I think I will, because it looks pretty ugly. Let's do that. You know, I sometimes make some pretty quick decisions. Don't think about it too much. And it'll grow again next time. So that's pretty much it. So that's the front. Everything's trimmed back. Scissors are nice and sharp. We've just got to repot this one and this one. I'll cut this one back a bit in the root system. See what happens with it. Maybe plant it like that, so you've got some nice roots here. See what happens. Okay, so let's get a pot ready, soil ready, and let's pot her up. Okay guys, well I found a good pot for it so it can grow bigger and bigger and bigger, but I've got some big decisions to make. if I go with that as a front, I have to chop this root off here, so I get a better root structure out here. So what I might do is I might just chop that off now. Okay, I'm going to get the saw out and chop it off, because one going down that deep, there's no point for it. So let's chop it off, see what grows out. Just watch your fingers with this saw. Okay, you can see that popped. So this bit of the root system will be gone. So who knows? I'll put that with that one and see what happens. Okay, so eventually this root here should take over. Okay, and this one, we'll see, but for now that's gone. But another thing I've decided is, for now, the root system on this side looks way better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop these ones that are facing up off. Who the heck's beeping? Probably the crazy wife, I reckon. Come back, every time she comes back from shopping, she beeps the damn horn like a bloody idiot. I don't know what's wrong with her, but that's just what she does. So now that's on a nicer plane. There's also this one here. You can see that one there. It's at a funny angle out and then down. And there's some roots below it. So I'm thinking let's chop that one off too while we're here. Do some fairly good root work now, and it should pay dividends in the future. Whoops. This saw is a one-stroke pull saw, but occasionally in sappy wood it does get stuck. So here we go, got rid of that one, pull it out. And who knows, let's give that one a chop too and put that, let's put that in the same pot and see where that shoots out. So hopefully all of that grows, covers in nice, we'll see. But that's a nice root plane there, you can see now. Nice angle to it all. I think the missus just came in and said, hey, which is her other trademark apart from beeping the horn. She goes, hey. Anyway, gotta love her. Now, so that's a really good root plane. Now the problem with that, once all that all grows in and calluses up, it's going to look pretty sweet from that angle. And you also get some really nice trunk movement. The only problem is we've got this one at the front. So to deal with that, there's two options. We could chop this bit off, have that come out the side as a branch, but then that's dead parallel to that one on the inside of the curve, and it looks pretty damn ordinary. So let's chop it off. Go. I don't worry about any sort of paste or anything. I just leave stuff as it is, let it naturally heal when I do a cut. Occasionally, if it's bleeding a lot, sometimes I'll put a bit of wood glue or something on, seal it up. But you know, trees naturally in the wild get a branch broken off. Do you think something comes along and seals up their branch with a bit of sealer? No, you know, they know how to do it on their own. So I'm going to leave it like that, I think. So we'll have a good root base when it all grows in, nice and flat on the bottom. And we're going to put it in here. So let's do that now. Let's repot these 3 little ones first. Just roots with a bit of a, let's see if the roots grow basically. Put a little bit of screen in the bottom of the bonsai pot. Just normal potting mix here. I'm going to work them in. I don't care how they grow, what they look like. I'm just going to chuck them in as a bit of an experiment and see whether they grow. No major work done there. And we're just going to squash it in there. Squash in some potting mix. Now I'll take that outside and water it after. Okay, so we've got the stumps coming up here. That's that done, I'll water it later. Now, this one here, I'm just going to go normal potting mix. Sort of half filled it up. This won't be dead full. I don't see the point in going dead full in this one. Then I'm going to put the tree in. Unfortunately, you guys aren't going to see the whole tree. I don't have enough potting mix to be able to put it right up in the air so you can see the whole tree. It's going to be a bit lower. So unfortunately, there you go. That's what it would look like, but it's in a poultry pot, as you can see. So I'm just going to screw it in there. That's going to be the front. I'll put a nick in the pot so that I can see where the front is. Go. I'll put a nick in the pot on the front. Bit of a triangle. You can see where the front is. And then I'm just going to pour some more pot and mix around. And we end up with what we end up with. You know, I'll do bonsai mix once the tree's in a bonsai pot and a bit more established. But for now, pot and mix is just fine in Australian climate. And then I'm literally not even going to fill in the roots too much. I'm just going to push it in with my fingers in the roots. Sort of massage it in with my fingers. And I don't think I got quite enough in there. It's not quite deep enough. It's pretty close, very close, but I think after you water it a few times it's going to end up too shallow. So I do have some bonsai mix left, Debco. I'll pour some of that in, nearly all of it. Okay. That's it. Just spread it around. Now we've got a nice root flare. And it can all heal up. And become, hopefully, a really, really nice tree. So I grew this one from a baby little whip that cost $5. So just goes to show, even in a hot Australian climate where I get to 45 degrees Celsius, you can still grow Jap maple. Alright, another thing too, I'll probably get rid of this little branch here. And then develop stuff out and around the place. Maybe one day a branch will come out the back and I'll let it grow really long and strong. For now, that's it. You guys can see it. So that's the root base there. Under there's the whole spread. But we're gonna keep it pretty well covered, let it heal up. And it should be good. And that's it. So let's put it back on the bench, leave it there. And we are done. No worries. Cheers for watching Aussie Bonsai Bloke. Please like, share, subscribe. Tell your mates about the channel. Join the Facebook group if you haven't already, which is No Rules Bonsai on Facebook. And apart from that, just have fun with your bonsai. It's all about having fun. I'm going to try and keep it piled around the root base here so it can heal up, and this will drain a lot better than the floor sweepings. Don't use floor sweepings, although as you can see it did grow well, so it is what it is. No worries, cheers, and I'll do some more vids today, so there should be some more coming up pretty soon. Cheers, and thanks for watching.